We begin tonight with Kyle Schmoyer in Washington, D.C., where House Republicans appear to be looking for a way out of the budget standoff many blame them for. Kyle?
Well, Logan, you know, earlier this morning, we started to hear about this short-term solution being floated by House Republican leadership there in the House of Representatives. We know this afternoon they had a meeting with the president at the White House, about 18 of them, including the Speaker of the House, John Boehner. I can tell you, though, that meeting is now over, and the Speaker left the White House without speaking to the many cameras and microphones that were there to hear from him on how that meeting went. And so now here we are, day 10 of this shutdown, and the question is, are we any closer to having this thing settled? On day 10 of the partial government shutdown and less than a week away from default on the debt ceiling, House Republican leadership is offering a compromise for now. The GOP offer includes a temporary debt ceiling increase, extending the spending limit for 6 weeks. In exchange, the president and Senate Democrats must agree to serious budget negotiations. The resolution would set a definite default deadline at November 22nd.
It's time for leadership. It's time for these negotiations and this conversation to begin. And I would hope that the president will look at this as an opportunity and a good faith effort on our part to move halfway to what he's demanded in order to have these conversations begin.
While not seeing the specifics of the legislation yet, the White House responded this way Thursday afternoon.
The president is happy that cooler heads at least seem to be prevailing in the House, that there at least seems to be a recognition that default is not an option.
President Obama continued his meetings with lawmakers at the White House today with Senate Democrats. Majority Leader Harry Reid commented on the House plan after speaking with the president.
This is a situation where they do not know what they want. I hope the Republicans decide what they want, and we'll be happy to work with them in any way. I repeat for the 4th time right here. Open the government, let us pay our bills, we'll negotiate with you about anything.
And while the rhetoric continues to fly from both sides of the aisle, Treasury Secretary Jack Lew testified on Capitol Hill about the dangers of default.
How can the United States choose whether to send Social Security checks to seniors or pay benefits to veterans? How can the United States choose whether to provide children with food assistance or meet our obligations to Medicare providers? The United States should not be put in a position of making such perilous choices for our economy and our citizens. There is no way of knowing the irrevocable damage such an approach would have on our economy and financial markets.
And, you know, a very busy day for lawmakers as they continue to face this shutdown and the need to raise that debt ceiling by next Thursday, October 17th. We're 1 week away at this point. At the White House today, like I said off the top, the leader of the House, we didn't hear from him. The Speaker, the leader of the Senate, we did hear from him there in the story. He was also asked by a reporter if they would consider negotiating on the Senate side with Republicans in the House before the government would reopen. He says, quote, not going to happen. So we may still be at that stalemate and at this late hour. We are hearing from some sources that there are Republicans within the Senate that are saying if the House does pass that bill to continue to raise the debt ceiling for 6 weeks, they may look at it in the Senate and want to float a resolution to send it back to the House with a continuing resolution on funding the government. So, Logan, while it looks like there may have been some hope of compromise, it seems there's a lot more confusion tonight here on Capitol Hill. What's going to be done? And the time is ticking.
Now, Kyle, apparently the politicians have their say and the people will too, having a chance to vent, if you will, their frustrations at Starbucks, right?
Yeah, we actually heard from the CEO of Starbucks today saying that starting tomorrow, anyone that goes into a Starbucks or you go to starbucks.com online, there will also be these petitions that people can sign up to be sent here to lawmakers in Washington, basically saying reopen the government, raise our debt ceiling, and get back to work. These are voluntary. They are nonpartisan, just sending to do something. The CEO of Starbucks, who is among business leaders who are more active in politics as well, says it's a way for people around the country who may be displeased right now and feel frustrated and angry and have no place to vent that, or as you said, venti that, they can now do so at Starbucks, and they're going to pass it along to lawmakers here in Washington. Maybe that will get people going. If they get talking over a cup of joe, wouldn't that just be ironic?
That is true, Kyle. They will be caffeine fueled. Kyle Schmoyer reporting live tonight from the nation's capital. Thank you so much.